I'm really lost. When I received the telephone call, I thought it was a regular social gathering, something to eat and a drink, and we just chat informally about the history of the club. But I noticed the communication I got that I was a guest speaker. But you notice I only brought a little piece of paper. So, you know, if you see somebody come with a few sheets, you can rest assured you will be here all night. First of all, I'm president, fellow Lions, guests, and if any Leos are here tonight. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight. And part of what I plan to say just coincidentally came up tonight. And I thought about me coming here tonight, whether to say something personally about myself and my membership in the club since its inception. And I said, maybe I should, to give an example of what occurs and what I went through, so that you can think what you're going through now, whether you have some kind of dispute with another member that is very trivial to what I went through. Firstly, I would just like to congratulate the club. I notice the club is very active. And sorry because of my age and commitments that I can't participate physically as I wish to do. Just to let you know, my wife is over 25 years stricken with Alzheimer's. I retired early from all activities to take care of her. But it didn't work out. But now I have help. And I have learned, after 25 years, to live with it. But she doesn't know who I am, but I know who she is. And I'm happy. Anyway, I'm glad to be here tonight. And I have to apologize to you, Lion President. When you were taking the chair, I wondered why you called me 3 times to make sure that I was at the luncheon. And the name didn't click. And when he did his acceptance speech and spoke about the first swim meet on the island, I said, my gosh, this man been here a long time. He must be here from where the island was formed, because that happened long ago. But it brought back to me the camaraderie that the club had in those days. The original members of the club were chosen from people on the island. And fortunately or unfortunately, I was one of the persons chosen to be a charter member. Projects were times of fun, times of work. The work didn't matter because we had fun. People who couldn't do anything, they would bring food or bring drinks. There were people who would create laughter. But there was the camaraderie there. Over the years, we have established projects on this island, and it is there that people still remembers it. Today, people will remind me about the Lions Club did many years ago, maybe 40, 45 years ago. A lady came up to me and said, Mr. Lenny, you remember when my husband died of cancer, that the Lions Club came to her assistance. And you know, I remember the lady, I said, oh gosh, I remember you coming to me and said, you have no money to give the Lions Club, but any function you have that I can wash dishes or wash pots, I'm willing to help. And that you know, gives you the type of appreciation and gratitude for the work the Lions Club does. You are no individuals in this club, none whatsoever. You are a team, and you are members. And before I go into projects and some of the history of the club, tonight it was mentioned there are disputes in the club between members. Let me tell you something. When I was in the chair, 1980-81, There was a member that was very disrespectful to women with language and everything. And I took him aside and I spoke to him and I told him, you are taking the name of the club down. Also, you are putting yourself in disrepute, ill repute. And I spoke to him nicely. He took offense to it. And I came here, sat at this table at a meeting. And he got a man, he bought a chair and got a member to get up to tell me, address me in the chair, that this chair in the back is for the incoming president and I cannot sit in it. And I said to him, you could drop a pin in this room and hear it that night. And I looked at him, I said, I won't call his name, he's now deceased. I said, Lion, have you finished? He said, yes. I said, well, you have exercised your democratic right. Now you may have a seat. Next item on the agenda. That's exactly what I said. You know, before that man died, he became a very close friend of mine. And he came to look for me several evenings to just sit down and talk. But just to show you, in any organization, you will have disputes. You will have somebody that do not like what you do or what you say, but you are a member of the Lions Club brand area. Settle your dispute. Settle it. And if you're a good lion, you can settle your dispute and serve your country well. If you look in this room, there are several nationalities. And you're in the Lions Club because you're working together, regardless of your nationality, where you come from, your background, what is your occupation. Doesn't matter who you are. When you come into this meeting, stand up and say what you want to say. Do not, we had a thing in the past that when you finish meeting here, some of the members go over next door to the bar to have another Lions Club meeting. That's a fact, because we got through that. When I was president, this Lions Club was open, and I had this official function. I was never asked to attend a meeting for the preparation to the opening of this club. And I was not put on the program to address the audience of this club. But I took it, I was very humble, and I know who I am. And that didn't take any skin off me. And I still continue to be a good lion, and I had no growls against the people who did the plan. So, fellow members, live together. If you have a problem with one another, be humble. Get together, talk it over. Whether it's over the drink, or downstairs, or wherever.
Amen.
Get rid of it and go on with the work of the club. You're a strong club. You have a history, and a history that can't be surpassed. And when I go through here tonight, you'll realize. Okay. The club was formed. We hit the heart of the people. And I don't know how many of us still alive that are chartered members.
7.
How many left? 7. But we are still around. And I wish we were much younger that we'd be able to participate with you physically. But we are not. We did a lot of firsts. We never had a swimming pool, but we had the first swim meet. You mentioned it. We had the first swim meet on this island. And Lion George, when I approached him to get 55-gallon drums so we can build 2 pontoons and measure 50 feet or 100 feet apart. I think it's 25 feet or 50 feet. And we got anchors and went to the public beach and we had an inter-school swim meet. We did it like it was impossible, but it happened. First, funds for the needy. We did it. And where? It's captured by somebody else. You know? And of course, the Lions Club were the one that came up with funds for the needy at Christmas time to help the needy people. And we started at the courthouse to put coins or a dollar bill or $2, $5, or $5, $10 around till we circled the courthouse. We were the first. It was taken over. Site conservation, we still have it. There's nobody touching that. And let me give you the history of that. Dr. Elaine Campbell was part of the beginning of the site conservation. Previous to that, the Canadian government used to send a surgeon here as part of a Caribbean aid. And because of that, my mother-in-law benefited. She got her site, and that's how I became a lion. And then after that, a group from the University of Waterloo with Elaine Campbell came down and did the schools, and then Lions got interested and they gave us a little coaching, and we started. And the member, ex-com member in charge of education at that time didn't seem to want to support us because they thought that we weren't qualified and we couldn't do a job, and etc. But we didn't pay it any mind, we continued. And look what it is today. Look what the site conservation is today. Community center. I don't know if there's another community center in the Caribbean as good as this. I don't know. A few Lions got together, and I think Lion Kenhall was the basis, and got a few Lions together to sign a loan at CIBC Bank, Business Lion Center. It happened. The loan is paid off. Which service club has done that? You have a name, big sign every time people drive across here, the Lions, the Lions. We have done some things here that people haven't forgotten. Just 2 weeks ago, they mentioned about when the tourists, what's the name of the tourist boat that ran ashore? Rhapsody. The Rhapsody. And the band, the show and the cruiser decided to give us a night. And we had it behind the public library. Right. And it was thoroughly enjoyed. For years people talk about it. The other big thing without the center, we had a little stage in the back. You remember when Treasure Island opened, all those country western singers. For $20, they saw something like 14 country western artists. We were busing them from Treasure Island up here. Each one finished the buses there with another one. And people, that is creating a name. And it's raised fund to put back into the community. The Lions Pool. The Lions Pool. Who would ever think that the Lions Pool would produce Olympic swimmers, including my granddaughter? It was my project the year I became president in 1981. It was my project. And I had a very passion for that because my stepson was lost at sea for 5 hours. And he was found at 5:45, 3.5 miles off, still swimming, trying to get back in. And the reason why he was saved, we had him in school in Jamaica, and he used to save his lunch money. And he would go up to the National Stadium in Kingston, and he was under a professional trainer at the National Stadium, and we didn't know until they had the National School Championship in Jamaica. He came home one day with his medal. I said, "Where is it from?" He says he used to secretly go there. And because of that, he learned to swim properly. That's what saved his life. That's why I wanted a pool. It took many years after for the pool to come into. A lot of people is getting fame from it. And this is one of the things that I emphasize. We are members of the Lions Club. We didn't sing the one thing. You have an idea, and the club work on it. This is why your ideas, I hear tonight, Lion Watch and asking to come and look at the plan. Your ideas count. There's a lot of people who come to meeting and silent, won't say anything and won't give their. You have ideas, you have dreams. After a meeting, you go home, you might have a drink or whether or not you have a drink. And you go home and you lie in your bed and you think about what not happened in the meeting. And some idea come to you. Give it to the club. Give it to the club. That's why you're a member. The eye clinic. How many clubs in our area that manually the members themselves build the eye clinic, just like the pool. The members themselves. You know, some members, older members, sometimes I wonder if they feel they didn't get the recognition for what they do. But when you think of the Scott brothers, they donated their time, their equipment to do all that thing at the pool. But you never hear Lion Anthony, Scott, mention. Never. And I think those two brothers, the club need to do something about it. You know, years ago, we never had ladies in the Lions Club, but we call them lionesses. But whenever the Lions Club have anything, the lionesses were there with their heart and soul. I remember we had a flea market here. It was the most unbelievable thing. You remember that? That flea market is the biggest flea market I've ever seen. I've never seen one in Florida as big as that. I mean, this place was covered and all the lionesses were there, and it raised a lot of money. Raised a lot of money. The history of this club is that members, you can see the pictures up there with that building. Pictures. There was a lot of laughter. And I know children, and I know particularly with me, my young children used to feel dejected that I leave them on a Saturday or a Sunday. And it's when they became adult that they said it to me, that Daddy, we felt bad. But now we are adults, we are doing the same thing that you did. Because there are people out there who need help. And if we don't help our community is nothing. Yeah. There are people, some they can help themselves, but they need people like you in this club to just give them a little push to move them ahead. We had a program in the school, and it's dear to my heart. It's Skills for Living. We chartered 2 flights to take 30 teachers to the Cayman Brac on one weekend to have a seminar to teach them and have them equipped for the schools. It went well. And we haven't even had a trainer who traveled to Belize and other Lions Club area to train those people. To train those people. And why it disappeared, I don't know. It was replaced at bringing in these big football stars who was on drugs to come and say, I was on drugs and now I'm off and I'm successful, I'm a millionaire. A young child was saying, oh yeah, that one can go on drugs, I can go on drugs, so I'll be a millionaire afterwards. It's our people here, we need to use our people here and our influence. I'm going to tell you this. During the year of Lion Leonard Hew, they came up with this idea of drug awareness. It's a big title, drug awareness. And I remember in this room, and Lion Leonard asked a volunteer to head this thing. But he answered, yeah. He says, well, think about it and some of the next meeting come up. In the corner of the room, Lion Leonard came and he put, you know what, Lion Leonard is a big man, he's a big hand, and he put his hand. He said, Lion Leonard, why you don't try it? He said, me? He says, yes, man. You can do it, get your wife help you. I never forgot the first night I went parent-teachers meeting. parents teachers meeting at Triple C. My wife came with me and she was afraid she wouldn't come in the hall. And the first thing I did was tell them, I'm not here to tell you that Lions Club members don't drink. We drink. We drink, but we drink sensible. And don't tell me that nobody else in this audience drink. And you know the first person that get up to throw a spanner into the proceeding was a man who, the history as a man isn't what it should be. And I addressed him. And that gave me the confidence that night to continue with the program. And I went to church groups, I went to PTAs, I went to youth groups. I said, this is not me telling you not to drink, you know. You have your choice. But I'm here to tell you about the results of using illegal drugs and everything. Today, our drug awareness program evolved into Cayman against substance abuse cancer. I don't forget all of this, my memory is getting bad, but all of these things I remember. Every one of these major things come from the Lions Club. This club, your club, and the country's club. It's ironic that tonight driving up, I said to myself, I have to mention, because I don't know when I suspected that there is differences in the club. And I'm asking you all, the success of this club is not to be petty. You know the song, Be Humble and Kind? Be humble and kind to one another. If you have a difference, treat it civilly, treat it with a sense of honor. There's no differences in the world between two human beings that can be solved. Even the animals in the forest, you know, they have differences and they fight. Afterwards, you see them loving. But, you know, these clubs shouldn't have it. And I heard it. But we had it years ago. As I tell you from my experience, we had it. If I was a petty person with the chair incident and with the woman at the center, I would have just resigned from the club and go about my business. But I stayed. And it didn't make me any smaller. I'm losing my height now because I'm getting older. Not because of that. But I'm begging you, you are very active. Let me stand up so you can see me and I'll ask you. And, you know, as an old lion, and you're going to see me more often now that I'm a little bit free and I have help at home, you're going to see me more often. But please, if you have differences, trash it out, put it aside, throw it behind you. I had differences with my family over my time, the gratitude and everything with certain people in my family. And I was driving Walker's Road and I stopped the car and something said, park in the churchyard, and I went into the church. Pour me alone on the roof in the church. And I said to myself, what do I want? And I sat down, and it's like a haversack came up in front of me with all of these things that I'm bearing. And I came out of that church and just threw it on it. And I have no grievance with anybody. And I'm a happy man. If there is somebody happier than me, at my age, I will shake his hand and say, be happy. Whenever you go on a project, be happy. If you can't do the work, take a bottle of water for them. Or take a couple of beers, or drink beer. Well, if I'm there, I drink vodka. But be happy when you're on projects. If you're not happy on projects, as I was saying tonight, a lion that we say wouldn't smile. And everybody would try to get him Patrick smile, Lion Patrick smile. And Mike would say to me, Lenny, you know you can get him smile. And I would wait for the right time and go, and you see him on his smile. But we are all different people, we have all different But we have to learn to live with one another. You have a good name. You are still active as a Lions Club, but continue to live together and work together. I hope what I've said tonight is affecting you. I haven't lost any weight for the problems I had in Lions Club. I wish I had lost some age because of that. But thank you, Lion President, and I apologize to you that, you know, the years have passed and I didn't even remember that he was at the first swim meet. I always remember Mr. Huntington because
No, I'm not Mr. Hunt.
No, I always remember Mr.
Oh,
Huntington.
yeah, right.
Remember when I first went to the Brack for the first swim meet? He was there, he was so helpful.
Oh, yeah.
They were wonderful, he and his wife, wonderful.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I know you're not, Mr. Huntington. My memory isn't that bad. Thank you very much, and if there's any questions or you have any doubts about everything, feel free to ask. Thank you very much. You're gonna make me cry.
So, are there any questions from that? You did mention there was a social, so I mean, I did remember the times that you were talking about.
Yeah.
So I did have a present, so we'll bring to the top so you can get maybe 5 minutes. Does that bring back memories?
Yes.
Okay. And I didn't know what your poison was. You just mentioned back in the last one, but I brought you one.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, by the way, Domino was a very popular thing here. After all the work is done and the food, everybody get a better food. A Lion Welly, I forget to mention, Lion Wellington, Edgerton Wellington, he used to cook food, and that was his participation in the club. And after the food and the drinks, they would have Domino. Lion still bought that, but he's ready with his Domino, and the work is finished.
I think there's a couple of questions. Lion Walton?
I was going to make a comment. I often tell people when you speak the truth, you don't have to remember what you say. Lenny, most of what you said, except for that the minister didn't seem to support it, most of what you said verbatim, I have in a video that we did over by Lion Tommy when we were preparing for the 40th. I let you see. I wanted to show the committee that's putting it together. I couldn't find it, but since then I find it. I watched it for 2 days, almost verbatim, the same story. So it's the truth you're telling.
Thank you.
And now Gary has recorded it, so we can use that for the 50th as well. So, any further? Right. So, is there any other business before we get on to the social? And tail twisting, Lion Walton.
I thought you were against going that line, President. I twist someone and I understand that I twist someone in the meeting, I understand that. You came with the intellect. How are we going to deal with that, President? I mean, I was looking at some old documents from the 80s. And when I look at what the tail twister was raising then, and I look at what I'm raising now, I'm wondering. No, I'm telling you, I look at a lot of numbers from the 80s.
Don't scare the people.
No, but I'm saying that, I mean, I don't know what we're doing now, or what you all were doing then. And, no, seriously.
It's a disgrace what we collect now.
Yeah, and not only that, I remember you made a point some time ago that you would stay here and twist. And if I check on what I twist, what is reported at the end. So I wonder if people are really